Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Acer Predator Helios 300 gaming laptop computer 2018 edition with the 6-core 12-thread Coffee Lake chip and a 144Hz IPS display. For $1,200, this machine is a beast. We are playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive 1080p, very low detail. This is not a replay, this is not watching somebody else's run, this is me playing the game. Now, why in the world are we playing at very low detail at 1080p on a $1,200 6-core Coffee Lake gaming computer? Well, I'll tell you, this is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and competitive players and people who take this very seriously want to see just how well they can get really high frame rates for super responsiveness. I've taken the feedback given to me. I've done high detail runs in Counter-Strike Global Offensive before, and the feedback that I've gotten from viewers is that for this game, very low detail is where it's at for serious players. This laptop has a 144Hz IPS display. The question is not, will we average 144 frames per second? Watch the gameplay, we're nearly 300. Clearly that's going to happen. The question is, will it maintain a minimum of 144 frames per second? In other words, 99+% of the time, will this always be running at the speed of the LCD screen? If you're a serious competitive gamer and you're thinking, well, I'm willing to spend a lot of money on a really good computer because I want to play on the go and I want to play games like CSGO and other competitive shooters and I want spectacular performance. I don't want any compromises. I want a really, really quick machine. Well, that's the purpose of this. If you're a casual player and 60 frames per second is plenty, well, shoot, you can buy a $500 laptop and do that for CSGO. This is for really, really serious players. Interestingly enough, if you look at the real-time performance numbers in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you will notice something interesting. Our graphics chip is not being fully utilized. It's only at 50%. I probably could set this to high detail, and the frame rate would probably be very, very close to this, if not actually almost exactly the same. Our limitation is the CPU, not the graphics chip. Now, I know some people are going to look at the CPU and go, wait, we're using 25% of the CPU. How's that possible? Well, as I've said in many other videos, 6 cores, 12 threads, CSGO does not remotely use 12 threads, so it's never going to be 100%. But the CPU is running at 3.9 gigahertz, and it is using 3 of the cores, essentially. It's running at about 25%. Well, not here, because we're in the buying menu. But it's using roughly 3 of the cores at the moment. It'd be at 4 cores if it was at 33%. So CSGO doesn't use more than that, but what it does use, it's using to the max. We are not graphics card limited. We are CPU limited because of the fact that this is just an older game. It's still spectacular. I mean, for Pete's sakes, we're nearly 300 frames per second. We're just CPU limited in what it can do. Now, as far as main system RAM, it's CSGO. The 16 gigs is absolutely more than enough. If you wanted to live stream this game, you certainly could. You could GPU encode in OBS and live stream and have plenty of performance left over. And because of the extra CPU cores, you should have no issue getting exactly the same level of performance, even if you're recording locally while live streaming, while playing. It would absolutely not have a problem with that. Whether or not you want to play on a 15-inch screen is another story, but if you're on the go, you might not have the choice. Now, I ended up playing multiple rounds here. I actually got about 13 minutes of gameplay recorded, but I'm not going to show you all 13 minutes because the evidence is self-evident on the screen right there. Why not just make a chart? Well, for the same reason I do the other videos. Being able to watch the actual gameplay, being able to watch those real-time performance numbers to see the temps and the clock speeds and the CPU and GPU utilization and the real-time frame rates, I think is far more useful in terms of determining performance. You just don't need to watch 13 minutes of it, and frankly, my personal gameplay is not good enough to justify, because this is me playing, and I'm not very good at this. These sorts of games are not my thing. I'm okay at Overwatch, but CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, etc., I'm pretty poor at. So, we're going to cut to the chase and say this is just amazing. I will leave my poor death on the screen just so you can all mock me and laugh at me by getting killed by a sniper. But now we'll jump ahead to the Amazon product detail page. I did buy this laptop. Acer did not provide it as a sample. Linked down in the video description below is the link to Amazon where I bought it, and so should you if you want the best price to performance gaming laptop available today. 6 cores, 12 threads, 144Hz IPS display, 16 gigs of RAM, NVMe SSD, 6 Gigabite GTX 1060, $1,200. This is a beast. As for performance, 271 frames per second average, but that should surprise nobody who just watched the video. 159 frames per second, 1% low, so 99% of the time, we got at least 159 frames per second. This is a 144 Hz display, perfection, and that's the whole point. As I said before, you could turn up the detail a bit and you'd still get similar performance because we're not stressing the GTX 1060. But if you want to use the graphics card to encode, if you want to live stream on this, maybe leave it at low detail and you'll have spectacular performance. Like this video if you like it, share it with your friends if you loved it. Remember to subscribe to my channel with the big huge red button directly below. Post your comments below the video. Check the links in the video description. Link to the full playlist of all the games tested. Look through it, see which ones you're interested in, watch those. Link to the full review on this laptop, and then as I mentioned before, link to Amazon.com. That is an affiliate link. It does support the channel. If you like this laptop and buy it, use that link when shopping. It supports me. Thank you, so I can make some more of these videos. And then you'll also find my social media links down there as well: Twitch, Twitter, Discord, and some others. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.